All right, guys. Boy, I recorded this like 3 times just because my voice is kind of going. I'm sorry about that, but I said I was going to do a short video on this, and no fuss, no muss. The reason I'm doing this video is because I've been a victim of a false domestic violence claim. I've had an order of protection throwing me out of my own house without any proof whatsoever, just a he said, she said scenario. Yes, I was in heated arguments with an ex. But other than that, after that happened, fan fiction happened. So the place that it happened, the two people that were there happened. Were there any witnesses? Of course not. Of course not. It cost me more than $10,000, almost $20,000 to clear my name on that one. Me, at least I had some dignity and self-respect where I filed for divorce as soon as this happened. I later found out from somebody else where they stated, "Oh, I think you overreacted because she was just trying to teach you a lesson." Well, I taught her a lesson. So, this and that is the reflection of American women in society today. And that's where we come to Zoe Quinn, aka Five Guys, who also has borderline personality disorder like my ex. Also justified bad behavior. I believe my ex, I saw something from her on social media after the fact, after all these red flags and the popped up in my head, and the delusion of love. And this is where I come from, the MGTOW point of view, where I put MGTOW in this tag. From the disillusion of love, where my love went away. After 6 months, I was depressed, and I almost killed myself, just like this Alex guy, who was a person that I would have nothing good to say about if he was alive and he wasn't accused. He was a far left, regressive, fucking moron that thought Donald Trump is the next coming of Hitler or he's a dictator. Those people I just do not associate with whatsoever. You could sit there and go, I don't like Trump for this reason, this reason, this reason. That's perfectly fine. I probably would agree with you on most of them. I think he has shit policies. I think some policies are questionable, and I think some policies are good. Boy, I think that's just like every other president we've had that I think of. Anyways, I probably wouldn't have anything good to say about the guy. But I'm not happy that he's dead. And I'm not happy he's dead because a grifter, lying whore who has accused multiple people without evidence before of a sexual abuse, did so with her. And she is the mole. She's the mole on the skin of a huge cancerous, tumorous undergrowth. So her followers are just as bad. The people that stick up for this Zoe Quinn, who I think her name is like Katrina von Scheichen or something like that. So it sounds like a fucking Marvel villain to begin with, which is apt since she's been trying to kill she also was in a hand of killing comic books as well. But you got people like Amanda Marquette sticking up for her. And first of all, Amanda Marquette writes like somebody that got kicked in the face with a mule and you give her crayons, trying to get her brain working again. I mean, just from this, you could tell something from, I've read this all for you, so you don't have to lose brain cells. I had to go drink like a quarter of scotch to get my brain cells working after reading this, anything by Amanda Marquette. She'll be very popular on this fucking channel, I guarantee, just by the retardation that comes through her mouth. Oh, and by the way, I'm autistic and I have Asperger's, so therefore I can call you retarded. It's just like black words and the word, and the N word. So I can say the R word. Yo, what's going on, my R words? How about that? 5 years ago, an angry young man who was furious about being dumped by his game. Oh, let me talk like Amanda Marquette. 5 years ago, an angry young man was furious about being dumped by his game developer ex. Wrote a blog post full of kinds of sexualized accusations abusive men make when trying to ruin their women's lives. Actually, he backed up that blog with texts and emails. You dumb whore. Just and you know, and I could call it right away. Amanda Marquette's a whore. She probably had more than 50 guys. Because if you stick up for someone like Zoe Quinn, it is because she signifies something about you that you have to defend. If you defend Zoe Quinn, it means you're a whore that slept your way to mediocrity. Actually, Zoe Quinn, Five Guys, actually slept her way to below mediocrity because she pissed away all her money. And she had men doing all the work, including a trans guy. Listen, whatever, trans. I'm not going by that crap. I believe in science. My mind will not make me believe in anything else. So you're a confused fucking dude. How about that? This sort of thing is sadly common in our misogynist world. Really? I just said that it took me almost $20,000 to clear my name after a false accusation. That's misogyny? That's a patriarchy? You know what? The more and more I do this, the more and more I want more Muslims in this country because I want Sharia law just to show people like Amanda Marquette and Zoe Quinn exactly what happens when they talk shit. Really. Don't you imagine in your deepest, darkest thoughts of someone like Zoe Quinn, Anita Sarkeesian, Amanda Marquette mouthing off, and then some Muslim guy backhanding her and then hitting her in the face with a rock? And sitting there going, that's your deepest, darkest thought. Now, I would not wish that on these people. You know, for my 98% normal thing, I really wish they get a fucking clue. I really wish that brain cells could automatically generate in their brain. For Anita Sarkeesian, I wish she'd find a freaking conscience. Because she's not as stupid as these two. But she's close. She's not this stupid, though. Anita Sarkeesian was only sleeping with like 3 guys or something doing all the work for her. And she knows how to hide after she steals money from a Kickstarter and a fundraiser. Anita steals that, and then she does a couple of videos about women in history, and she goes, yeah, and then people start bitching, and she just hides. She ends it, and she hides, and she takes her money and fucking runs. And then she dumps the guy, that she was in cahoots with. So see, Anita's not that stupid. Five Guys. Here's the rest of it. We see this cycle on a national scale. Trump won in 2016 largely because communities like Gamergate saw him as a way to shut down the internet-aided rise of feminism, Black Lives Matter, and other social justice movements. But Trump's win gave rise to the Women's March and eventually to the Me Too movement. First of all, again, Amanda, you disingenuous slut. Trump won because the internet allowed feminism, Black Lives Matter, and other social justice movements to be seen. So we saw Black Lives Matter say death to pigs, pigs in a blanket. We saw that. We saw feminism just spew out its retardation. Castrating men. All men should die. Give your little boys puberty blockers. Yeah, we've seen feminism. So feminism, Black Lives Matter, and other social justice movements, or as I call them, two fucking idiots hitting each other in the face with bricks, they're the ones that elected Trump. So thank you very much. Because as not a major Trump rah-rah guy, thanks a lot. I mean, it could have been somebody else. It could have been more conservative. It could have been not a more, it could have been a conservative guy with a little bit more lighter style. But, hey, you know what Trump did? Trump brought out and showed how the stain on our politics was. So all you far leftists were authoritarian, hateful freaking bigots. And he showed it rose to the top like gravy. That's what it was, like the fat in the gravy just kind of rose. So instead of hiding it, you guys came out right out in the open and just professed your anger and your stupidity. And for that, I am grateful for Trump. So there you go. I mean, Women's March. I mean, what? Like pictures like this? This is France. So that's funny. I mean, it's just such a lack of self-awareness by what's like written there and what they're doing. You don't see it? Of course you don't see it, Amanda. You know why? Because you're stupid. And another thing is that if you go around the Women's March and all you do is march around and you bring your freaking kids there, because most of you are single mothers. And that's another thing feminism has brought, single motherhood. And mass shootings. All the mass shootings except one, and that one had an abusive father. All the mass shootings except one were fatherless. And I'm not talking about the father was paying child support and every other weekend. I'm talking about the father was alienated out of the house. So every mass shooter in this country has come from a fatherless home. Thanks, feminism. But if you think dressing up in a big fucking vagina outfit, taking your shirt off while saying don't treat me, don't sexualize my body, why all feminists ever do seem to do is sexualize their body, and like spreading their legs and fucking five guys like Zoe Quinn did to make her life a little bit more profitable. I would have actually, and here's the thing, I would have respect for Zoe Quinn if she got on camera and said, give me $20 and I'll shove a huge freaking dildo up myself. I'd have more respect for her in that regard. Because at least she's going, you give me money, I do a sexual degrading act. I still wouldn't have a lot of respect for, I don't have a lot of respect for women like that, but I would have more respect than something like this, falsely accusing somebody, especially when it hits so close to home. And here's the fact is, another thing, Amanda, you ignorant slut, is the fact that I was suicidal during the first 6 months that this happened. I had to work 3 jobs to afford a lawyer in order to prove my innocence. You think I ever will trust a woman again? Are you out of your goddamn mind? I'll never trust a woman again. Ever. I mean, I don't trust half of the men anymore either. So, you psychologically trauma a man for profit and some kind of validation. And you think it's okay. And then you have the audacity to call this a misogynistic society. Your whole career predicates on calling men horrible fucking names. Without evidence. Amanda Marquette. People like you are just as bad as Quinn. And I don't care whatever happens to you. It should be something bad. And it's karmic. You know? How about that? If something ever bad happens to Amanda Marquette, I'm just going to shrug. But that's not the worst part. It's not people like me that shrug if anything ever happens to you or Zoe Quinn or anything. It's the fact that the people that you think are friends and allies will cry and they'll use it to get attention for themselves. That's the funny part. Is the people you think are actually your friends will use your death in order to get pity for themselves. You fucking idiots. Anyway, so let's go back to 6 guys. Oh my god. Oh, Jesus Christ. Just threw up in my mouth a little. Sorry. I think it's the fact that it looks like a very ugly man in a bad wig, but it's also the fact that this person who is not symmetrical at all is next to one of the most beautiful women ever in Candace Owens. I think that just makes her ugliness that much greater. But anyways, here's the thing. So Candace has to do this because you can see this in the Stephen monologue. Candace, let your eyebrows grow, please, sweetheart. I mean, here with your natural eyebrows, you're so, well, it's not natural, but you know, it's not like the painted on ones, you know, highlighted ones. They're just nice, and they're like, I don't know, plucked, or I don't know what the hell they're called. They're tweezed out or something with like something. Anyways, one of the most beautiful women ever is Candace Owens. But here's the thing. The one good thing that Zoe Quinn did was, one, it gave rise to Gamergate. So we also started going after Instagram thoughts and we started reporting them to the IRS, which is a good thing. So a lot of Instagram thoughts have been turned into the IRS and had to get a real fucking job. So we protected thirsty, weak men in that regard. And that's the thing. Without weak men, People like Amanda Marcotte, people like Zoe Quinn, Anita Sarkeesian would not have a fucking clue, and they'd be doing what they were supposed to do. They were sitting there and showing me where the 34 jeans are at Old Navy. But we in MGTOW, that's what we have to do. We just have to keep on spreading our messages. And I know there's MGTOW that sits there and says, oh no, fuck that. You can't teach a guy how to be this. You can't teach a guy. You can't. That's right. You're absolutely right. You can't. But that doesn't mean you shut up and you don't tell them. Because the whispers are there. Some guys have to get burned, but when they're getting burned, they're going, yeah, my friend said, and it may help them. But what's going to happen is when they have those thoughts in their head, after the fact, they won't relapse. And that's what we treat women now. We treat women like the most dangerous drug in the world, heroin. Because that's what vagina is. It's heroin. And it's not worth it. It's not worth it to shoot up modern American women. Build your empire. Retire early. Travel to Southeast Asia where women still want to be women. And your money carries more than anything, And so these women will be grateful for you. And all you have to do is treat them just like you would treat an American woman. But this time, it gets appreciated. There's gratitude and appreciation for how you treat them. By being the protector and the provider. American women, no. They still want that provider money, but don't you dare tell them, that they're getting out of line or that they're spending too much money. All of a sudden, they start cheating on you, and then they blame you for cheating. Then they take your shit when they cheated on you. You're going to tell me that's a misogynist society? Get the fuck out of here, man. Get out of here with that shit. Miss me with that. Miss me with it. Anyways, so Zoe Quinn, what happens with this thing? So, what happened was Candace Owens, when she was still a liberal, she tried to do this anti-bullying thing, and I forgot what the name of it was. And again, hey, listen, this is a quick freaking video, man. I'm not trying to be the most thorough on this one. I just wanted to throw up and give some real truths to what Five Guys here is all about. So, and I really wanted to touch about the people defending her and how the only good thing she really did was bring us all together. And I think Zoe Quinn actually did have MGTOW rise a little bit because a lot of gamers are now MGTOW, where they're like, I'm done. I'm not even dealing with women anymore. Every time I play a game and I call, and I rip into a woman or something like that, I got 50 white knights coming down my fucking throat. This bitch threw a grenade and it's team kills on, and she killed the whole fucking squad. I can't yell at her, that kind of thing. So there, and why are we having a bunch of shit games with these freaking agendas like The Last of Us 2, man? That looks horrible. That looks freaking horrible. Every white guy's evil. They had to put like every ethnicity in there to cover like the fucking rainbow. They had to make Ellie a lesbian to a Jewish girl, and none of that's necessary. It wasn't necessary in the first game. The first game was pretty straightforward, but whatever. Anyways, Zoe Quinn she's at the head of Twitter's approved anti-harassment team. This is how far her scheming got to her, by the way. She actually got a pretty good fucking gig, and she still had to self-destruct. This shows you who Five Guys really is. She's a self-destructive whore with borderline personality disorder. No matter what you give her, you could give her everything in the world, she will still fucking self-implode. Because she hates herself. And it's rightfully so, because she's a hateful person. A lot of people go, oh, you shouldn't say that. You shouldn't tell people. No. There's some people that should hate themselves. And Five Guys is one of these people that should really, really hate herself. For all the things that she's done. She should really hate herself. Now, could she seek forgiveness or something like that? A lot of religious people would sit there. I'm not so religious when it comes to people like this. I'm not religious to people who would actually go out of their way for money in order to destroy another person, and I can see it, and there's proof and evidence of that. So fuck her. Let the religious people say, hopefully she finds God's way or whatever. Anyway, so Miss Owens did the anti-bullying project, and of course, Five Guys starts coming after her with her little SJW cancerous tumor crew, pretending to be. Of course, it had to be hateful, anonymous white men, racist abuse, and of course, because Five Guys is mentally retarded, as is her feminist crew, they did the most blatant pro-Trump emails, pro-Trump Twitter names, just this is how stupid they are. You're showing your own stupidity. You've proven to be stupid in the past, and they're all white men. That's good. That's really good. Fucking idiots. I swear to God, I just don't know how you get up. Oh, I know how you get up in the morning. You get up in the morning with the penis inside you, and you go to bed with a penis in your mouth. That's how you make your way through the world. That's all. And when it isn't a dick in your mouth or any of your other two holes, it's food. So there's food going in your mouth, there's food coming out of your ass, or you're stuffing up your vagina. So that's how you live your life. You pathetic pieces of garbage. So Candace actually found this out. Something was amiss, and Candace Owens is a smart woman. So she figured out that it was just it was her saying, "You're going to ruin everything." She said something like that. She said Zoe Quinn actually went to her after all the frustration where nothing else worked and said, "You're going to ruin everything." If that is not the most absolute line of damnation, I don't know what is. And so here's this. Who else? Zoe Quinn was the patient zero of the Gamergate controversy, a tattooed, covered, mentally ill ex-stripper whose real name is Chelsea Van Valkenburg. Oh, there's her real name. Dr. Chelsea Van Valkenburg, the worst Marvel hero in the world. Well, we should call her Captain Marvel. Boyfriend, a software geek named Iran Gunjoni. How sad do you have to be? How small was your dick, Iran? To go out with an ex-stripper. I did not know she was an ex-stripper. Really? Somebody gave her dollar bills. That's the sad part. I want to blame these women like Amanda Marcotte and her and Anita and all these other whores, Cardi B. I want to blame them. But really, when it comes down to it, they can't survive without a fix. And the fix is weak, pussy-thirsty men. So, as MGTOW guys. So, anyways, and look at this guy. This guy, you knew what he was. You knew he was drinking soy. You knew he was just a freaking carpet for her high heels to step on. And it's just sad in that fact. But still, he could have been saved. He could have been saved. Just by telling the fucking truth, so here we go. Honest Team YouTube. Honest Google. I just follow Honest Google, by the way. Sexual assault on Twitter, zero proof. Her fans attack him. He has mental issues and commits suicide. She deletes her Twitter. Her fans attack his sister. Sister makes her account private, and that's what's going on here. It sounds more porny than her fake name. No, Zoe Quinn just sounds like somebody seeking attention. But yeah, she's mentally ill. She's got borderline personality disorder, and the fact is, it's a grave injustice that we still allow this, that we don't persecute women like her. And I'm going to tell you from a legal standpoint, I hope I'm not showing too much of my cards when I say stuff like this. But from a legal standpoint, when she can't be held viable for involuntary manslaughter. I know a lot of people would love that, but there's not enough proof. If it was a man, it is becoming clear in the court system. I can't even call it the justice system anymore. I really can't. That's how bad it's become. But in the court system, if it was a man, he might go to jail. Just by saying, you stupid bitch, I hope you kill yourself. And she kills herself. I guarantee the guy would have more of an outlash against him. More of a Twitter outlash saying he should be thrown in jail for murder, not just manslaughter or involuntary manslaughter. Yet for a guy, I mean, it took forever for that girl who actually said, "Yeah, you should kill yourself." No, go kill yourself. Kill yourself now. She had to say it 3 times before she actually got it. And there were some people debating whether she should. Mostly feminists. But on her thing, just because she sat there and did a 10-year accusation, and believe me, this is that's 10 years ago, and good God, it's still. I think this was on her book shooting. Let me show you her book shooting. Look at this. Even with 5 pounds of fake up, 3 hours of Photoshop, they still can't make this woman look good. And yet she was, well, I've seen strippers. They ain't that, believe me, they're not hot. Especially in Boondock fucking Kentucky or whatever the hell she grew up on. Anyways, the thing is here's the absolute truth. This is the honest truth that is hard to swallow. The hard to swallow pills is that she would never go to jail for involuntary manslaughter. You can't take what she did and say that it was totally responsible for him killing himself. And it really wasn't. What it was is the fact that her and her cancerous fucking fan base caused him to lose his job. So his employer is the one that fired him, and that is probably what led him to kill himself, because he's a programmer, and that's his only talent, essentially. And his love was gaming. So he's a programmer. So you lose that as a man. That's just like a married guy. You take away his kids, you take away his house and the things he provided for, and the woman he loved and provided for, and the kids that he loves and provide. You take away all that from a guy. That's why guys commit suicide, because their whole life is just destroyed. Everything they worked for, most of their lives, is destroyed. Of course, a guy's going to kill himself. Of course, a guy is going to do that, because we have integrity, we have honor, we have something. Women don't. Women sit there and go, "I'm going to kill myself. I'm so going to kill myself." And they do it for the attention. Women try to commit suicide just as much as men. No, they don't fucking do that. They say they're going to. And they take 5 aspirins. "I took 5 baby aspirins. I'm so going to die." Gets her stomach pumped up. But she gets the attention and validation. And people pay attention to her for a while, until the lack of personality and zero morality makes people just sit there and go, "Oh yeah, I remember why we fucking hated this person." So, and I think that's when it comes to equality, I think that's what we have to strive for. Death in the workplace and a successful suicide rate. So I suggest Zoe Quinn and Amanda Marcotte. I suggest you fight for equality. Anyways, that's going to be it for me on this one. Again, these people should be prosecuted for false accusations at least. She's not going to get anything for involuntary manslaughter, but for that false accusation, they should scrutinize all that, make her provide proof that this gentleman did something after 10 years, and if she can't provide proof, that she gets 10 years in jail. That's what it should be, 8 to 10. So, which means she'll be out 5.5 with good behavior, something of that nature, work release. But she should do jail time, and she had probation. She should have a criminal record. You can't just falsely accuse somebody of that. And you cannot say prosecuting people who falsely accuse, and it's proven that it's falsely accused, will prevent women from coming forward. No, it will prevent lying fucking whores from coming forward. Real women of abuse. I've known a couple, and God bless them with their strength. They hate Zoe Quinn even more than I do. They went right away. I mean, one actually waited a couple of days because it was that much of a traumatic experience, but she still talked to other people, and they're the ones that said, "You need to go to the hospital. You need to get everything checked." And they did, and they still found DNA in her. So there, So you can't sit there and say you don't go to the hospital the day after. You still can wait a couple days. The DNA is going to be there. The tears are going to be there. The show of force is still going to be there. As for guys, it's just stay away. Just stay away from women. Juice isn't worth the squeeze, man. 5 minutes of masturbating will, well, what about the company? Dude, guys will keep you company. Really. I know. Believe me, I have that, and I'll do a video on this one. One of the videos I'm going to do is just basically that fairy tale. Men have it too. We have that fairy tale. There's things we sit there, we think about, and we go, oh, that'd be sweet. Or right at this moment, I wish I had a woman, and I could smell her hair. And I could run my fingers through her hair and feel how soft her skin is. I get it. It's just not worth it now, man. It is just not worth it. Too many false accusations, and if it isn't false accusations, then when the relationship's over, then they falsely accuse you and take all your shit. You gotta go MGTOW. Don't do the pickup artist thing too. I mean, the guys with the pickup artists, you hear more and more of them. They're gonna get in trouble. The rape claim's gonna come eventually for these pickup artists. That's the thing. It's just gonna come eventually. The only thing I can tell you, if you want to be a pickup artist, first of all, get fake tattoos, put one on your neck, and just wear like I don't know, like those freaking Ed Hardy shirts or something like that. Get a motorcycle, go 2 states over, and just go to a bar or something like that. Find a woman in a bar, bang her behind the freaking bar, just leave her there, give her a towel, and then go drive off. That's the only way you can do it. Like, one, she don't know who the fuck you are. She can't falsely accuse you if she don't know who the fuck you are. And 2, you just got to look like got out of prison. Drives them crazy. Anyways, talking about prison. Hopefully 6. Hopefully 5. I keep on saying 6 guys because 1 for each, 2 for each hole. But 5 guys here. Although with the 5 guys, I swear to God, it's like, you know what she looks like? She actually looks like a 5-guy shake where they mix up like all the shakes into one, and then they throw a couple of fries in there, and then they leave it out in the sun for about 2 days. That's what Zoe Quinn looks like. A 2-day-old milkshake left outside. So that's 5 guys. Fucking thing. And Amanda Marquette. She's gonna be great. She's gonna be a great one to freaking follow. That'll be wonderful. Anyways, thank you for this. Is my very first video. I wanted it to be more upbeat, or at least a little bit more philosophical. Maybe some comedic elements to it, but this one just hit close to the heart, man. It just did. And people like this should not be stuck up for. And I don't care what little fucking slanderous things they bring. Bring it on. Bring it, like the assholes from Medium, that Khalid little bitch motherfucker. Bring on whatever you say. Call me incel. Call me this. I've had more pussy than you have. I mean, so I've had so much that I know it's not worth it. I haven't had grandiose amounts of it, but I've had enough where it's not worth it. And I've had enough names thrown at me by having autism that no matter what you say to me is not going to affect me anyway. So please, bring all the names, all the people coming here trying to defend this piece of shit. Because you're a piece of shit. Just please bring it. Report me. Do whatever the hell you want. I don't give a shit. You really think that I care about, YouTube's not going to monetize me forever? I don't give a shit. Dude, I really don't. This is something that needs to be smushed out, and these people need to go to jail. Anyways, next video I hope will be more philosophical. I was thinking about doing some Cato the Younger, because I'm reading him a lot now, or maybe some Sun Tzu, which is always my favorite book, or some Louis L'Amour, who is, you don't really know, but he's a good philosopher when it comes to that. He writes a lot of Western books, a lot of Old West kind of books, but I really think he was a clever guy. He doesn't get enough credit as a modern day author. Thanks for coming around. Till the next time. Thank you, and May you be blessed away from women like this.